So Sableye, the Pokemon from Gen 3, the one that looks like it's got gem eyes in its eyes, and you can only find it in like certain dark caves where it's just waiting to pounce on something. There's also, it was actually came from Kentucky's Kelly's town. It's a rural area. It actually came back in 1995 or 1955, the Hopkinsville incident. And I basically think this is where they also got the idea for it back in Majora's Mask. Because if you remember Majora's Mask, you might remember how, like, the one ranch was attacked by the aliens and the whatnot. And it was kind of like similar to this. They did the same thing in a way, and then the aliens would disappear, and then they would either come back later on too. But anyways, they were supposed to be like these really short creatures, and they were also supposed to be like they had the ability to be able to like teleport, and you couldn't see them, so it like kind of like a transition. It's kind of like a psychosis of some kind, or a molecular interference of some kind of psychokinesis rather. Kind of like Psychonauts, if anybody remembers that series. But Psychonauts being like the PS2 games and all that. But yeah, I just think it's really interesting, like, how like supernatural material that happened like years ago inspired a Pokemon from a Pokemon game. It's actually really interesting. So Sableye is definitely an alien. It does definitely resemble like some kind of an alien from like another world. Even though Sableye might be a lot different. It's a ghost Pokemon. It's a ghost Pokemon that doesn't really have any fighting advantages. I mean, it didn't have any weaknesses up until, like, I think fairy types actually can take care of it very easily. I could be wrong. I have to double check that. But ever since fairy types were introduced, it basically gave Sableye, like, a disadvantage finally. Like, now we can finally take Sableye out very easily without having to rely on maybe something else to take it out, because it's immune to fighting, it's immune to normal type moves, and normal types are obviously immune to ghost type moves, I believe. But yeah, it's actually kind of interesting how that works out though. But so yeah, it's interesting though, because the kind of aliens they're supposed to be like really short, and they were supposed to be like, they look like they had like gems in their eyes, sort of. They were like very ambiguous, rather, look like very vaguely representable, and like something that was just like not from this world, obviously, maybe not even from the solar system, where they would have came from and what their purpose was. Maybe they were looking for resources, who knows. But it is interesting to think about though, because it's like, if something like that really does exist, where are they originally from, and what is their purpose in the universe? Just because they just exist? Again, progress rather, kind of makes me think that's what the meaning of life is, because obviously there's more to life than what we think it is. So again, definitely proof that there's got to be more out there. And if that is true, that is definitely something. Imagine waking up one day, finding out your farm's being attacked by aliens, and then all of a sudden it's like you just get your family and you don't even come back. Not for the night, at least. I don't know if they did come back or if they just left it all together. I have to read the rest of that story, but that is freaky though. They said they shot them for like 4 hours straight, like 15 times they shot at them or something like that. But it was like, they didn't do them any good though. It's like they're ghosts of some kind of malevolent interference or something like that. And it makes you wonder, like, how does that work? What is their supernatural abilities that cause them to interfere with that, Did they watch humanity for quite a while to the point where they understood their technology and they just knew how to deflect it? Because that is interesting how a super, even like guns, like how guns work, they fire super fast projectiles that can penetrate like physical flesh, for example. So like if you have like an alien that's like so advanced that it's already figured out how to get rid of this stuff, then it's like they've probably already seen how guns work of some kind, or super fast projectiles. So how that doesn't affect them, either they're already ghosts, or they just know how to manipulate the time and space curriculum. Again, psychokinesis and physical genetics that just alter their physical appearance, that can also cause some sort of, advantage point for them. Like if anybody tried to shoot at them, and then they just deflect it and turn it into something else. Very interesting indeed. So yeah, I do think that, yeah, if they're definitely not from this planet, then yeah, they definitely had to evolve differently somewhere else, and their whole entire strategy of who they are and what they're capable of would be completely on a different level than ours, because they would be a more advanced species then. Therefore, different individuals from a different world with different reasoning. So that's kind of interesting to think about. I'll have to read about that a little bit more. But if that is true, man, that is definitely not like little green men as they described it. They were definitely different then. But that is interesting to think that that's where they got the idea for Sableye, because Sableye was something that, like, Sableye is nightmare fuel all by itself with what it is. It just looks like kind of like a little goblin, but it's like a psychopathic killer, sort of, with the way it smiles and the way its eyes look. It's freaky, it really is. But it's easily to kill, though, if you have the right Pokemon, you know. So, yeah, that's definitely a prankster ghost Pokemon, but it's definitely a Pokemon that, you know, it's even learned its lesson the hard way with some Pokemon fighting it. So, yeah, but if I find any more information, I'll definitely be sure to update you on it. But again, subscribe if you're not already, and if you have any requests, please let me know. But until then, we'll keep looking into it, though.